Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse. And a while ago, Sasha from the UK sent me this PicoStation M2 HP. And I think today we're gonna have a look at that and maybe set it up, try and connect it. I'm not really sure what I should use an external access point for, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to try and set it up. So let's see what we have. Okay, so it came in a box, and this one had a hard life already, but nothing seems to be broken. It claims here to be the smallest outdoor access point in the world, also the most powerful, with up to 1000 milliwatts of output power and 100 megabits real throughput. And this is of course a Ubiquiti product. Ubiquiti Networks, it says up here. It has actually all of the things that is in the box also on the back. Although I see that the antenna that I have is slightly smaller. So, but I have already taken everything out of the box, and this is everything. So here is the unit itself. We are gonna be removing the plastic. It has this bracket that you can mount on the wall, screw in, and you can very easily mount this that way. It has this leaflet here with instructions, which I've already looked at and found my first problem is that this unit takes up the IP address 192.168.120, which I use as my DHCP server, so I'm gonna have to do some ninja tricks to fix that. Then we have a UK plug here, which powers the PoE adapter, and PoE stands for Power over Ethernet. This one is a bit, that's Ubiquiti's old standard of DC 24 volts, half an amp. It feels really empty, but I'm sure there is something in it. But yeah, this is a Power over Ethernet product only. There is nowhere to put in a power plug in this. So you need to power it with an ejector like this, or one of Ubiquiti's own switches. Well, you can also use another switch with Power over Ethernet, but they are pretty hard to find with 24 volts. Mostly Ubiquiti use that standard, I think. Then we have something as simple as a strip, and that is for mounting, come on up, this to a pole. So you can kind of just put a strip around a pole and mount this that way, if you want to do that. Has some screws, I'm guessing for this thing. I forgot what was in this. And we have the antenna here, which I have neatly put back in the plastic because I was gonna do this video. So we're gonna put that back. So there's a little bit forth and back. There was a little rubber thing here to protect the connector up here. And we're gonna put the antenna on, like that. So, and remove the plastic. Now it's about time. So, the device itself, of course, it has the antenna, which we just mounted, and it's the PicoStation M2, which I already said. This is part of their Air Max series. They don't really brag about that anywhere, but yeah, it should. Actually, down here they give you the most important information. It's the IP number and the username and the password. So that is right there. Very important. This is the box. It's not very big. It's not very heavy at all. Wonder if they put anything in here. There's an RJ45 connector in the bottom. Right there is a reset switch, which you can press and hold. And to know how long you hold it, you go and check the manual here. And somewhere they will probably tell us how long to hold that if we need to do that. Okay, I've just been checking this and it's actually not in the manual, or at least I was not able to find it. So you would have to go check the online documentation. Normally it's 5 seconds or 10 seconds, so you can actually just press it until it does something. Usually it lights up. I haven't had power on this yet, so yeah. I have a very tiny RJ45 connector here, and that's just to show how this works. So you put in the connector here in the bottom of it, like that, and you put this would go through your wall somewhere and go in to get power inside of the house, and this one goes out here and closes up. So it's kind of weather resistant. You have to place it like this so that the water will run off and don't run into the unit. It has a little lip here to make sure that the water goes in the right direction and the water don't want to go in here. And down here at the very bottom there is a hole, so I'm sure it can become dirty in here, but it should not catch very much water. That should, well, run out of there again. So let's try and power this thing. So we can try with the power over Ethernet adapter, and I also have a power over Ethernet switch. So let's set this up. We need to power this with this box, and this box has, of course, 200 and, well, it actually goes all the way from 100 volts to 240 volts AC powered through this one. I'm in Denmark and we don't have these. These are the British, the UK plugs. They're okay. They have a built-in fuse. That's actually kind of cool. Probably pretty irritating with that when that blows, but well, it's a nice feature. We have the European plugs. This is actually a German plug, but it fits very well in our plugs too. So we're gonna plug that in. And we can plug in the power over Ethernet injector, these are often called, and these are the Mickey Mouse connectors. Does it say which? So we're plugging in the Mickey Mouse connector and it lights up white. Awesome. So from here we're gonna get a signal in from the LAN. So our network, our home network, will go to the LAN connection, and the PoE will go to the access point. So we need to get a LAN connection, and for this I have gotten another cable. In this case I'm gonna be using a very tiny cable just for filming, but normally if this is sitting on your house and you have to pull like 20 meters of cables to it or something like that, I would probably go with a good quality cable. You are powering this device, and they were bragging about 1,000 milliwatt. That's about 1 watt. So we probably don't want the worst cable in the world. So just a decent quality of cable would be nice. So let's see. This one goes. The box goes over there. This one goes into my network connection, and I'll just plug that in. That's under the desk. So I plugged in the other end of this network cable. That goes into the injector, and that goes into the LAN connector. There. The idea is that this connection will now go into the box, and then power will be added and then go out through this connector, which is the PoE. And as soon as I plug that in, well, it lights up and gives us some signal or things, some communication. So that's all good. These injector boxes, they are of course available in different sizes. This one is another one that I bought. Actually, that's where this cable came from. But this is the 48 volt, 0.5 amps. So you have to be kind of careful not to mix up the different devices. Some of the PoE boxes, some of the switches will do both of these. I just checked this PoE injector and made sure that it wasn't able to do both, but I had to check that. So now we have power on the device. So we should be able to go to the computer and see if we can find it, and it should have that, and it should be responding on that 192.168.1.20 IP number. So in my favorite web browser, I typed in the IP number 192.168.1.20, and this web page popped up. Well, it did say that it was unsecure and stuff. So, but here we can pop in the Ubiquiti UBNT, and the same as password UBNT, and we can select our country, which seems to be important for these Ubiquiti products. Some Wi-Fi channels are available in some countries and not in other countries, and I just passed by. I'm in Denmark, so we're gonna select Denmark, and we're gonna be selecting English because we are speaking English in these videos, and we have to agree to the license agreement down here, otherwise it probably don't want to play with us if we don't do that. Here we get our PicoStation M2, and it tells us a lot of stuff here. I must say, wireless and network. I think we should try and change this IP number to DHCP, because right now it's actually conflicting with my DHCP server. The problem is that the DHCP server is on number 20, so I wonder if it's gonna be able to receive a DHCP address when it's conflicting with the DHCP server. So we might actually give it another one for it just to change that one. That's 32 there. Change. Changes will apply when you apply. So applying changes, please wait. So we should not get access to it anymore. We should be able to go to another IP number to catch it again. I don't know how long this will be using at booting, but let's just try it up here. 32, and something is replying on 32, so we can do that. And we're back. UBNT, login. So now it should not be conflicting with anything. That's a good thing. It reminds me down here to change the administrator password. That's probably a good idea. I wanted to check if there's any new firmware for this, because it seems that it thinks the date is 2015. That might be the newest firmware, but I'm actually interested to see. Java is too old. Go away, Java. I want to see if this is able to communicate with the Ubiquiti Unifi Controller. So we're gonna go in there. Logging into that. Let's see if it sees a new device anywhere. So it has my USG, it has the in-wall, and it has something on. Oh, that's not it. The PicoStation is not in the Unifi controller. I saw somewhere that should be possible. So I'm gonna check that out for a little bit. Let's see, Wi-Fi, advanced service, system. Let's see, we can firmware update this. This is on XM562. I'll do a little bit of research and find out how to do that, if that's possible. So in here under service, we can upload new firmware to it, or we can pick a file. But we have to find the file first, and I'm very much guessing that that's how you could make this PicoStation turn up into your Unifi setup. Right now it's still not there. I have 6 devices in here and none of them looks like a PicoStation. So up here we can check for new updates. So if we press here, it comes down here and says that this device cannot connect to ubiquiti.com or UBNT. So we have to go to the download page. If we do that, we come in here and all this firmware is too new for the PicoStation. We have to go over here down under AirMax Legacy Products. So we have to find some legacy over here. And if we come down here, we have the PicoStation 2 and the PicoStation 5. We have a 2 and we have a 2 HP. And there is only one firmware available. So I guess we'll have to try and download this one. Oh, I found it. That's because it's an AirMax M series that we have. It's not an AirMax Legacy product. So if we go in AirMax M, we have the PicoStation M right there. And we even has this, the correct one, Pico M2 HP. And there is a firmware and it's very much newer, 2018. We can even see past. There's a lot of firmware available for this one. So I think we will go with the newest one. I hope that's a good choice. I have no idea. This one, 5.6, that's about where we are at right now. Yeah, so let's get the newest one. Only a couple of weeks old. Let's check that one. It has already downloaded it. These files are not very big, so choose file. We're gonna pick the new one. Which one is that? That one. And open and upload that one. Let's see how it does. Please wait. Uploading firmware. It's happy about that one. Upload firmware. Update. And it says don't power off. Yeah, it's updating. We'll be right back when this is done. That progress bar is a bit slow. Okay, the firmware got updated really well, and there's even some very nice graphics here. There's nothing to complain about there. Well, actually the system still complains about me not changing the password. That's okay, I guess. But it's still not visible in my Unifi controller here. It didn't pop up. So the new firmware does not do that, apparently. I found in the forums that people talk about, and I found that you have to use a special firmware, and you can find that by typing in Airos2Unifi. And if you pick that one, the very down here is a download one, and it's the exact PicoStation that I have that it found here, there, and there is a bin file. The file is called Airos2Unifi.bin, and I have downloaded that one. It's actually down here. So I'm gonna try and put that on. If we break this, it's too bad. I'm just playing with this. So let's go System, choose File, and then we're gonna try this Airos2Unifi. This is it's not entirely a one-way, but it's very hard to get back from here. If we get it into our Unifi controller system, well, it's very difficult to go back to it having its own homepage like this. So let's open this. It sees the file up here. Let's upload, see what it says. Uploading firmware. It has an error, so that didn't work. Check fault 43. I read on the forum that after, I think 6.12 firmware, it is not able to take in an unsigned firmware, which is probably why it won't take that Airos2Unifi. So now I'm trying to firmware update it, or go back in patches to a 5.6.15 to see if this will help it. Downgrade it and then try the firmware again. The PicoStation has been downgraded, so let's try and pick that file again. Airos2Unifi, open, upload. Let's see if it likes it now. Nope, this firmware is not trusted to maintain security. It will not be loaded. Please load trusted firmware. How rude. Okay, I have of course been trying to figure this out using forums. So let's try something else. I have downloaded something here called TFTP2. So that should be a small little program that will enable me to send the file to the Ubiquiti thing. So that should enable me to upload the firmware to it. So let's just try that. We can only break it. And the IP number for it is 32. We will pick our file. This looks to be an old program. That one, open, upgrade, erasing flash. Ooh, that's very small. Wonder if this is gonna work. Okay, unable to get response from server. I read a bit further, I really should have done that, but it seems that the PicoStation is only able to take this TFTP transfer if it's being reset in the, well, it has a startup procedure, and with this reset button in here and being powered on, well, you can activate that. So what I have to do is I have to press in the reset button while powering the device. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This time I held in the reset pin for just about 15 seconds because I found another manual that said that I should do that. So let's see if we can connect to it now. I have changed the IP number to default and trying to get this up and running. So upgrade, upgrading flash. So that was a lot more lucky. Firmware was upgraded successfully. That was almost too easy. That was too quick. I don't like it when it's that quick, but I think we'll have to turn it off and try. Okay, I think it did that all by itself. It looks to be reset now. So let's see if it turns up in the Unifi controller now. Okay, so it did not help any to just put the Airos2Unifi on here. So I have now downloaded an older unsigned driver that I'm gonna try and put on here. It's still firmware updating even though the firmware has been uploaded to it. When these two LEDs are on all the time and only those, well, then it's completed. It's blinking quite a bit right now. There we are. So now it should pop up at its IP address again. Had to connect it directly to my computer because it was interfering with the DHCP server. So what happened now? Probably I got a new IP address. I have to set my IP address to static. Okay, static IP did the trick. So now we can try and pick this Airos2Unifi again. This has turned out to be a longer video than I had expected. And what does it say? Updating, yes. Let's see if this will work for us. We'll be back when this is done. That progress bar is not moving fast enough. Well, so I must admit this PicoStation has been teasing me quite a bit. Right now, I came so far as I was able to put the Airos2Unifi on it, but it doesn't show up in the Unifi controller and it's not at the usual IP number, and well, time is just running out for today. So I'm sure someone is a lot smarter on this equipment than me. What am I doing wrong? Why doesn't this just pop up on my local LAN here? The Unifi controller is on the same LAN as the PicoStation, but the PicoStation don't pop up as a new thing in there. So I have no idea. But well, Thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Yeah.